BookTube, it's me, Monty here, back again, once again, today with another video for you, the lovely viewers. Gonna adjust the camera. Okay, so I'm here today to talk to you about Openly Straight by Bill Konigsberg. This is a contemporary novel. I would classify it as a contemporary novel. It takes place in an all-males boarding school in Massachusetts. I don't know why I opened the book like that, but I'm just happy to have a book to show you, maybe that's why. So it takes place in an all-male boarding school in Massachusetts. I believe it's called Natick. I don't really know. I mean, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I know it's something like that, though. Something along those lines. But our main character is Rafa. That's what he goes by. I think his first name is actually Seamus, which I was kind of like, why? But he goes by Rafa. This is like part of his middle name. And so he is originally from Boulder, but he decides, or he eventually goes to this all-males boarding school in Massachusetts for his junior year, leaving behind his like weird, wacky parents. But for me, they weren't really all that wacky. Bill Konigsberg describes them as like having gone to Oberlin, which is like this super liberal school in Ohio. But like my history teacher went there. And so she told me all about it, and so I was kind of, I guess, braced for the wackiness that Oberlin students would exhibit in their later life, and so to me they weren't that wacky, but maybe to other people they would be. But to me I was kind of like, oh, you're just like my history teacher, that's okay. I mean, maybe a little bit more extreme than my history teacher, but still. So the story is told in a first-person narrative. There are also bits from like journal entries that he has to do for his English class, and then his like English teacher writes little notes at the end, and I really love those parts, mainly because of the fact that there was like different fonts, and I am a person who loves different fonts. I don't know why, I just really enjoy it when the font changes. Call me weird if you want to. I'm okay with it, I've accepted this fact. But moving on, the plot really is just Rafa adjusting to this new boarding school and falling for one of the men there. Well, not men, he's a fellow classmate. It's not like he falls for a teacher. It's not that kind of story. So Rafa in Colorado was openly gay, but when he moves to Massachusetts, he decides that he doesn't want to just tell people. He's not going back in the closet, but he's just not going to tell people that he prefers men. And I was kind of like, okay, that could be an interesting read. But for the most part, it was just sort of whatever. Because, honestly, there was some really cool talk about, you know, like, sexuality and sexual orientation, and, you know, what that means, and how different people think. Because to Rafa, being gay wasn't, like, a big thing. Like, he was, like, whatever with it. But you know, it explores how, like, other people, it's this huge thing, and it's not just as easy for them. And I thought that was pretty cool, and it addresses some other stuff in the novel that I feel like I don't want to talk about, mainly because I might have forgotten, or not that I've forgotten, but it's just, like, I couldn't put it as eloquently, I don't know if eloquently is the right word, but I'll just use it, as eloquently as Bill did in the novel, and the way it flowed. And there's, like, towards the end, it's, like, one of my favorite parts. It's Rafa and another character, and they're on a plane, and I don't want to say too much, but there's just, like, this discussion of, like, different kinds of love, and it was just, like, this really beautiful scene, and it wasn't something I was expecting from a young adult novel. I don't know why, because it's not like young adult can't be deep, but there was, like, this just really moving conversation that took place, and I think that's what I loved mainly about this novel. And it wasn't even, like, at the very end, it was, like, sort of, like, around 200, so around, like, the middle of it, like, a little bit past the middle, but it was just, like, this really moving scene, and it was just really nice, and even, like, just how the whole book just ended, it ended, like, on this really good note, and it could have ended on a completely different one, and gone a more, like, typical way, I guess, but it didn't go that way, and it just made me really happy. I keep touching my chin. Does it make me look like intellectual? I don't feel any more intellectual if I do this. I just feel like really weird, but I have like really nice soft skin, so I'm gonna stop before it gets creepy. But this book, it ended on a really nice note. The writing was pretty nice. The only issue I had was most of the characters just weren't as developed as I thought they could be. for a portion of the book, mainly the beginning of the book because that's when the soccer season is, but a lot of the, like, his fellow soccer player people he was friends with, they weren't really as developed as his roommate or his roommate's friend. They were just sort of cutouts of what they could, like, you know, what this person, this stereotype, bam, we're putting it in the book. This stereotype, bam, we're putting it in the book. And a lot of the supporting characters are just like, I don't have time or I don't care enough to sort of develop these more than just, oh, here's this stereotype and we're just going to put it in. Which was sort of sad, especially because there was this depth to it that these shallow characters really just felt out of place to me. And I think that's what brought the book down in the beginning, because I couldn't... I don't want to say that I couldn't connect, because... I mean, I could, to what the stereotype was. But it just... It felt lower, if that makes any sense, than the rest of the book was. The rest of the book was just, like, had this really cool, like, exploring what things mean, and just, it was really beautiful, and I loved it. And then the rest of it was just kind of like, here are some stereotypes that we're just gonna throw in because we can. Well, not we, I will, because I'm Bill Konigsberg, obviously. So, I don't know if this is Bill's only book, but I'm definitely interested in seeing if he has anything else out. I felt that this was definitely deeply moving, and more people should read it. I don't know how many people have read it, so I don't know if I should say more people, but if you haven't read it, this is definitely a book I would recommend. The beginning is a little slow, but if you just give it some time, give it some love. It's not even that long, it's only 320 pages. And the words are big. Like, it's kind of sad how big, so you can't even see that. Oh, look, there's, like, the different font I was talking about. But over on this page, we're not going to be able to see, but, like, see, the words are, like, pretty big. They're not, like, tiny, so, it's just, like, it was easy reading, and I definitely recommend it. And I'm just going to wrap this up, because I don't want this video to be too long. So, until next time, guys, make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you've read it, if you're going to read it, other random things, feel free. I don't know what would constitute as random. I don't want to give an example, because then it wouldn't be random, but anything you want to say in the comment section below. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, feel free to thumbs it down. We're just going to go on with our lives around us. So, now until next time, guys.